welcome to another episode of the Class Spotlight series. I'm Molly Hunt. I'm a research director here at Class Research, and I'm joined by my colleague Neil Oscarson, also a research director. Neil, welcome.
Thank you very much. Great to be here.
We're here today to talk about a first look report that we recently published on the Harris Affinity Decision Support Costing Solution. Neil, start us off by describing what the Harris ADS costing solution is and why it was important for Class to do research on this product.
Yeah, great question. We are always interested in understanding solutions that are helping healthcare systems make a difference for them. And cost accounting, or decision support as we often call it, is really about helping healthcare institutions understand their costs at the operational level and help them make better decisions about how to approach costing and hopefully have some financial benefit. And we felt like the Harris Affinity product was one that is useful for us to understand how are some of the systems using it, how is this actually driving results. And so we were able to partner with Harris and do this research and get some interesting findings about how the product's working and some of the opportunities.
Okay, so who did we interview for this report?
We had 28 different evaluations that went into this report, which is actually a pretty significant number for these spotlight reports. And they came from 25 different healthcare organizations. Okay. One thing that was interesting about this research is it was a mix of about half US organizations and about half Canadian hospitals. And it was the majority, what we would categorize as large hospital institutions. They're the ones that tend to use this costing more. And so we had these really robust conversations and had a really engaging time learning about this product.
Okay, so tell us some of the key findings to come out of these discussions.
Yeah, so we're always interested in the outcomes. What is happening with outcomes? What do the relationships look like? And what we learned from the conversations is that the majority of customers were feeling good about the process of adopting and using the Harris ADS costing solution. They talked to us about that Harris gave them really knowledgeable support when they needed problems. They needed problems solved. They talked to us about the functionality being beneficial for what they were trying to get. They talked to us about unique insights that they weren't used to getting when it came to really breaking down the costing element of this. And so we ended up with results that for the most part were very positive about the experience and the results that they were getting.
So beyond that, any other specific outcomes that they reported?
Yeah, so one of the questions we ask is how long does it take you to get to outcomes and how impactful are those outcomes? And we kind of use like a good, better, best, really impactful, slightly impactful. And most organizations responded to us that they had found impactful results, about 60%, with about 20% more saying that those results were extremely impactful. And when they talked about what those were, then they talked about costing data that allowed them to make decisions that could improve their patient experience and the cost of that patient experience. And they talked to us about having more real-time data than they had in the past, which allowed them to what they felt like was bring some cost savings into their operation.
Interesting. Yeah, it seems like tools like this are super helpful as organizations are looking to kind of accomplish that quadruple aim of healthcare, of reducing costs, improving care delivery. Really impactful findings and outcomes. Did the customers report any areas where Harris could continue to improve in how they're delivering?
Yeah, they did. There was a few elements they talked to us about. One was a little bit more impact from a training perspective. And so most of them were happy with the onboarding training and felt like they got good results there. But cost accounting is complicated, and they talked about opportunities for Harris to continue to engage with them to help them understand how to use the tool more effectively, help them with best practices, kind of help that overall experience. They also talked to us a bit about some opportunities for ease of use to improve with the product. It's a complicated product. It's never going to be as simple as some, but there are opportunities for Harris to continue to improve the product, to make it easier to use and help users become more effective using the solution.
So of course it takes two for a partnership. What thoughts did the providers have about what a customer needs to do to be successful with the solution?
Yeah, they did share some things. And one of them, most impactful perhaps, was thinking about how do we help our users of this solution really be successful? How do we help them with training? How do we help them think about how to use the solution? How do we interact with Harris in a way that actually helps our users be effective? Maybe the second item that I would mention was they talked to us about preparing the change management process. So thinking about how are we going to use this data to actually help us drive results? Because it's one thing to get the data, it's another thing to actually use it in their decision-making process. And there were some organizations that mentioned when they first started, it wasn't as robust as it could have been. And so right at the beginning, thinking about how to use the data and how you're going to implement the changes that you learn about were a couple of items.
Yeah, good thoughts. Any other concluding thoughts to share about this solution in our research?
Yeah, we really enjoy the chance to talk to these customers, and we always love hearing from our healthcare provider friends. And the results from the folks that we talked to were extremely positive about the role that Harris Affinity costing could help in driving efficiencies and cost savings if used properly. And we all know that healthcare organizations are in real budget crunches today. Perhaps they always are, perhaps today more than ever.
Right.
And our research showed that this was a solution that could be very viable, could work very well for these folks, and is worth some research and figuring out how it could be helpful for other organizations.
Well, thanks so much for being with us today and sharing that overview. If you are a provider organization and would like to read the full report on the Harris ADS costing solution and other reports, please visit our website at classresearch.com.